Hello, everyone. It's November podcast time.
Welcome to Canon Hall. For everyone that's watching on our YouTube channel, you will see we are on location this month. We are down at Canon Hall in Barnsley.
Yeah, with Rob and Dave. And they're having an auction today. They're selling their Dutch Spotted and Valley Blacknose sheep. James and the team are just about to start the sale. And we'll be catching up with Rob and Dave later. But so what's been happening, Laura, in the last month?
In the last month? It's been pretty quiet at H&H, hasn't it?
It's been quiet at H&H. Not at all. It's been incredible.
We had, obviously, our major event most recently was Expo last Friday. It was a big day in Borderway.
Was it our best ever?
It was our best ever.
Yeah,
of course it was.
Really was fantastic.
Of course it was.
And what else has been happening? The government have really given us a kicking, haven't they, everyone?
Yeah.
Wowzers. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Keir Starmer and Rachel have really shot us.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. When you're being attacked, you have to fight back, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know how that happens. I don't know how we fight back, but we must fight back. It needs to be done in an orchestrated, focused way. So yeah, let's get ourselves, let's get together and really think this out. But we cannot take this sitting down, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get back and let's get to meet Dave and Rob.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Welcome back to the one and only podcast. This month for November, we have some very special guests. We have Rob and Dave from Canon Hall Farms. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're more than welcome. We are most welcome that you've come on our podcast, to be honest.
They're having us. We're on location. Look at this cool
We
set.
are, yeah. We're in a very nice set today. So I think we'll give you a wee bit of background for our listeners on why we're here, Glyn, and not just for recording podcasts, although we've decided to take the...
Yeah. So today, it's the 9th of November, we're recording. The guys, Rob and Dave, are having a very special auction of their spotted sheep, Dutch spotted sheep, and their Valley Blacknose sheep. And James Little will be conducting the sale later on this afternoon, so that's why we're here. And we're really excited to see how the sale goes. How's the nerves, guys, with the upcoming auction this afternoon?
I think when you do something for the first time, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. We're just hoping that people turned up, but that appears to be happening.
Yeah.
There are trailers arriving.
That was nice to see the trailers
Always
in the
a
car
good
park
sign when
this
they bring
morning.
a trailer.
Yeah. So we've 96 to sell. We think there's at least 50 farmers coming, families coming. So it's only 2 apiece, isn't it? So hopefully we'll get a clearance.
No, it'll go well. I thought some of the Dutchies looked quickly over at them this morning. They looked really, really good.
Yeah, we're quite proud of them, really. We've got some good bloodlines and
they look really good.
Yeah, spent a lot of time and effort really producing them.
And I have a soft place in my heart for the
valleys.
For the valleys.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You're a resident valley auctioneer.
And they look well as well, so that's great.
Well, they've all been washed, which was
quite
a job, you know.
Especially this time of year, It's not easy getting them dry, is it?
Yeah.
And we were lucky we've got a bit of an Indian summer going off, so it's been perfect weather for us.
Yeah, it's 10 degrees this morning, so it's...
Yeah. So is this a production sale for you guys?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A production sale, that's the...
Yeah, we've kept, just in the Dutch alone, we've kept 120 Gimmer lambs from last year.
Oh, wow.
So we can't keep them all.
No.
We're letting a few go. But rest assured, whatever we sell, whatever money we make, will go straight back through your hands in the form of new livestock, new bloodlines for the flock. So
You've heard it here, guys.
You've heard it here
it's
first.
coming back to you.
I've got to say, though, my dad was walking around them yesterday and he was like looking at him going,
Why are you selling these?
should we be selling that one?
Yeah.
You know,
That's exactly what you want, though. You want to be selling
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
good ones, don't you? You don't want to be selling... You want to be selling...
Yeah.
People, you want to sell your best ones, don't you? Because that's the
Well, we
point
want to
of
keep our very, very best.
Yeah.
But sell the ones just below the very, very best, so that it brings credit to the
Exactly.
flock, and that people can see that we're serious about it. You know, we're obviously a farm that's open to the public. We thrive in lots of different ways, but we're farmers at heart, and to be producing livestock of that quality, it makes my dad proud, and it's something that we're both passionate about. So.
That's great. I have this saying that I learned from a very famous Holstein breeder. He goes, I always sell my best, but I keep some of the very best.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There you
like
go.
that.
There you go.
I'm gonna copy that going forward.
Yeah.
So let's take it back then. Let's have a little bit of a resume. Canon Hall. We're here at this wonderful farm. This is a little bit different to normal farms that we would tend to visit in our line of work. So do you want to just give us a bit of a backstory on Canon Hall?
Well, Dad moved here when he was 15. With his dad, they got the land compulsory purchased by Barnsley Council for council housing. Tragically, within 6 months, my grandfather passed away, had a heart attack, riddling spuds. He went how he would have liked to have gone. He was working, he was doing what he loved, and he was in a place that he loved. He'd come to Canon Hall, and he really, really liked it. So that left Dad at 15 years of age with no dad, with a farm to run, and a big problem. So neighbours rallied round. They helped him along. He got to 21, married my mum, then had our older brother, then me, then Dave, and struggled quite a bit to make a living, to the point where he was doing his best. He was working ever so hard. We were doing turkeys at Christmas. He had a small dairy herd, beef, cattle, pigs, potatoes, bit of everything.
Wow, yeah.
But couldn't quite make enough money for the farm to thrive. It was gradually decaying. So we decided we had to do something different.
He could live, but he couldn't reinvest.
Yeah.
So I remember one winter, 2 buildings fell down, because the weight of the snow. We don't get that now, climate change and everything. Our memories at Christmas weren't sat watching Christmas films and everything. We're out there plucking turkeys.
That nail and that piece of your thumb used to separate at Christmas.
And you were breathing in the feathers.
Yeah.
But there's something we did it as well in Ireland.
Yeah.
There's something nice about the turkey plucking.
It
We had all the neighbours. The neighbours came, then we went to the neighbours. It was quite fun, wasn't it?
It was.
It's nice until you discover they're covered in lice.
I remember getting in the bath and,
We couldn't work out. We could never get a girlfriend, could we?
we could, these
put it
little
down
things
to those
floated
damn
in the water. I'm thinking, what are they? But my dad assured me they only live on the turkeys, so we're all right.
Nice. Okay.
So, long story short, we had to do something different. The bank said, sell up while you've still got some collateral left in the business. The overdraft had reached a point they weren't prepared to extend. We found a new bank. My dad had the idea that we could open the farm to the public, a bit like Chatsworth had done, Pennywell in Devon.
Yep.
Adam Henson's dad, Joe Henson, down in the Cotswolds.
Yep.
So we knew it could work. We just needed someone to believe in us. The bank lent us the money. We sold a couple of buildings, didn't we?
Yeah, to reinvest in the farm because it was decayed.
And we managed to open up 1989, Easter 1989, and people came round. We took 120 quid on the Sunday, 140 quid on the bank holiday Monday, and we knew then that we could stay at the farm. Up to that point, we always figured we would have to leave, and that would have broken Dad's heart. He'd inherited this farm from his dad. It was the dream place.
Yeah.
And for him to fail, as he would have seen it, he wouldn't have failed because he tried his best, and we all tried our best. But it would have meant that he hadn't succeeded in life to him. So it's, we thank everyone really for coming and believing in what we were doing, and they've kept us here ever since.
On the Easter Sunday, we actually had a takeaway pizza.
Yeah.
We had that money. We never had cash.
No.
And all of a sudden we had a little bit of cash coming in, and we all celebrated with a pizza.
Takeaway pizzas weren't part of our life. It was like chicken legs that we'd reared ourselves.
Yeah.
And, it was
Nice.
subsistence living at that point.
Yeah, so that was, 35 years ago?
1989.
89, 35 years,
Yeah,
this
about
time.
5 years ago. Wow.
And I got married the week before. We had a 2-day honeymoon in Newcastle races we went to. Got married at Catterick Bridge. Someone, Julie came from Laban, so from the north. And then we had our 35th wedding anniversary this spring. So, but we've enjoyed every
lovely.
minute.
And you guys have just built it up over the years, just kept changing
Reinvesting.
things. Yeah.
So when we originally opened the farm, there is nothing really left of that. We've literally knocked it down, rebuilt it, and reinvested everything we've taken. And we've got plans to actually put some more buildings up, so with a bit of a wow factor, and we're hoping to get that going, hopefully, in the summer.
Wow.
I think it's sort of become our life's work, and so sometimes we do things that maybe now, if you were to sit down and do a thing, is a cost-benefit analysis.
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't do, but because we really want to do something that we think would add that little bit of
Magic.
a bit of magic to the place, then we will do it now.
But you can I could feel the magic. I've only been here for 20 minutes, half an hour. But there is a magic happening here. There's a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
We just walked up from where the auction is going to take place. There's kids smiling. They're running around. There's a really nice atmosphere here.
Lots of families.
Yeah.
We like to think now that we don't just farm beef and pigs and lamb and all those great things, providing wonderful food for people. We also farm family memories, where people come together. They come together on our farm and they make memories that will hopefully last them a lifetime, and that makes us happy, and it makes us proud, and it makes us think that our little farm in Barnsley is something that people can enjoy and will think warmly of.
So how big a site is it here?
Well, it was 125 acres.
Yep.
We've nearly got up to 200 now.
Okay.
We keep trying to buy bits and bobs. It might be a bit easier
All
to
in
buy
one-
now.
that's
They've made
Not
the
in
tax.
one block, no.
No, not in one block.
Because we're surrounded by an estate, and it's quite difficult to buy off a
I
big
did
estate.
wonder that, because coming down into here, you can see the sort of estate thing. There's a couple of gatehouses as you drive down
Yeah,
the
you're
road. and
right.
things.
And going back to the recently announced changes that will affect family farms, we own our farm as a direct result of the estate selling it to pay death duties, inheritance tax. So that harks back to a time when that was
Came
something
in,
that
yeah.
was happening. We've obviously had this period where it's not, and now it looks like it's going to happen again.
You guys obviously have a massive influence just with we'll talk a little bit about that, about your media coverage, the programs that you've been on. What would your message be back to the government and what they did to family farming last week in the budget?
I think just rethink. There's a lot of people going to be hurt out there. And at a time when they don't want to be worrying about money, I just think they're making a massive mistake. They're going to hurt a lot of people, and just rethink what you're doing and change it.
There's a farmer in our next village committed suicide the day before the budget was announced, because he was terrified that it was going to, literally the day before the budget was announced, he committed suicide. And that's in Silkston. That's one of our neighbours, someone that we know quite well. And that is a direct consequence of the speculation, let alone the reality. So if that would happen to, we're incredibly lucky. We've still got both our parents working alongside us, and we love spending every minute we possibly can with them. But if that kind of tax bill would have happened when our business was in its infancy, it would have been snuffed out like a light.
Yeah.
It would have been gone. The 300 jobs that we've since created would not have been created, and we would have sold up, and we would have disappeared, into wherever we would have disappeared into. So yeah, it will have a consequence. £1 million, we're as an industry, we're asset rich and cash poor, aren't we? And should a farmer have to sell his best animals, his best fields, just for the privilege of passing on that legacy to his son or daughter? I don't think they should. I think we're producing food. We're doing a really good job. We're working really hard. We've got people who we're friends with from school who it's going to make a real impact on.
If you don't mind me asking, does your father still own, your mother and father still own the property?
Yeah.
So that really affects what's happening here.
Yeah. It could. Yeah. It could be really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So it's a poignant moment. So if you're listening, Keir, take on board what these guys have said, because it's real, and you're really having a massive impact on the rural community. It's an attack on the rural community. So
It's not just. We're tourism based now as well. And there's like Rob said, there's 300 jobs there. If we have to start selling bits off and all the rest of it, jobs may go.
Because it's not just agricultural property, Leaf, it's business property, really,
it's
as
business.
well. So we've got both things to look at, really.
Yeah.
So
it's real.
No, I think anyone that's listening, anyone that eats food, anyone that has any thought for the countryside that you drive through on a daily basis, really have a hard think about how this may affect what's been said last week.
But getting back to what's happening here, was there a moment where, so 1989, your first weekend at Easter, but was there a moment where the whole thing just went boom. I remember we spoke to Del Scone, and it was a donkey giving birth, was it?
Yeah, they went viral
They
from a
went
donkey
viral.
giving
So
birth.
was there a moment here
Wow.
where it just started to go
Crazy.
wow?
Yeah.
There was two moments really.
Yeah.
The first one was, unfortunately, we had a shire horse due to give birth. She went down. The foal was born. My dad had to help deliver it. It was a big foal, but the mare never got up.
Oh.
So
She'd had a complication in her pregnancy. She'd had an edema, and she'd fought tenaciously for the last month of her pregnancy to stay upright. You know, I think if she'd have gone down at any point, and I think she knew in her heart that if she went down, she was going to put herself in danger.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she had to go down to fall, and she never got back up again. And that touched a lot of people. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watched that, and we had to explain through the medium of Facebook Live what had gone wrong, why it had gone wrong, and what we were going to try and do to raise the foal in its mum's absence. So that was hard.
That kind of followers started following then. So online support was there. We've grown that group. We're over 600,000 followers now on
Do you mean
Facebook.
from a social media point of view, or just the business as a whole?
And then the greater business, yeah.
That's obviously an important moment.
Yeah.
I wasn't really meaning. I was meaning just a moment where the whole thing started to really.
No, I think it's
gradual?
I think it's been solid growth over decades. I don't really think there's any one point where we thought.
Yeah.
You know, I think the point where we thought we'd cracked it was that first weekend, and ever since then,
That's nice.
yeah,
No, that's really nice.
yeah, ever since then, we've just gone forward, reinvesting, making sure that we looked after the place, making sure that we did the job right, and we've gone forward in a steady trajectory, haven't we, since then?
And social media wise, that was one of the big things. And then I suppose Channel 5 approaching us to do Springtime on the Farm.
Yeah.
And then This Week on the Farm, and that's brought a lot of people to our door from all over the world. We've had people from Australia, Canada, America just this year fly in because they've seen us on social media and on the TV.
And not only
That is
that,
cool.
it's given us opportunities, personal opportunities. We've been to Texas filming. Last week we were in Finland for 5 days, in Lapland. You know, Phil went to visit a sheep farm there. We sat and watched the Northern Lights, didn't we, one night, and all kinds of things. Things that
fabulous.
you'd
You would
never
never-
thought we'd have had the chance to do. So we're very lucky.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I guess it's probably continuing. We're in this era just now where news travels as fast as light, basically, just now. You know, trends happen really quickly. We talked about things going viral. So I guess that's really, you know, that'll really start to go, wouldn't it? With these types of things, people see things and they think, oh, wow, I want to go and see that. And suddenly it moves so quickly now, doesn't it?
We had a miniature donkey born last week,
Oh, wow.
you know, and people have been coming to see it because they've seen it on social media. We've been nominated for the TV Choice Awards. We're up against Clarkson's Farm,
Wow.
right? 24 Hours in A&E and another one, a little indie production that, you know, but that again, you know, we've got a lot of support online that people will vote for us, and hopefully
that's good.
we'll bring the trophy back with us from London.
When does that award take place?
It's in the new year.
Yeah, but voting is now.
Voting is now. Vote
Vote
yeah.
for Canon Hall.
Yeah.
If you
I mean,
don't mind,
much as we
love
Jeremy, you know,
Yeah.
and I like watching him
Yeah,
as well.
I do as well.
And he's a massive advocate for farming, which
he is.
because we are genuinely livestock farmers at heart. You know, we want the best for the industry. We'll always try and be the best face we possibly can for the industry,
Yep.
and make sure we present ourselves in what we think is the right way to get farming's message across. But he's done great things, hasn't he? We enjoy watching him. I met Caleb actually at that British Farming Awards, and he was a real nice lad.
Yeah. One of our auctioneers was up, wasn't
Yeah.
he, in the British
Joe.
Farming Awards?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was up in the auctioneer category. But no, it's fantastic what you're doing for educating the public and for the industry as well. And so, you know, food production is suddenly on that agenda of going up against 24 Hours in the E, because it is, nothing's more important than one another. But, do you know, eating and the country and all that kind of stuff should be up there, shouldn't it?
Well, totally. I look at it like this. When we were growing up, the miners' strike was on. And I thought, well, you know, but now you look back and think we've no longer got security of energy, have we, anymore?
No.
You know, the water companies are not owned, you know, by us
Publicly.
for our benefit anymore. Before we know it, farming's the next notch on the ladder, and then all of a sudden we're having to buy food in from here, there, and everywhere, because if we lose our ability to feed ourselves, and it could be gone in literally a decade, couldn't it? You know,
Absolutely.
if we're not careful. And then, you know, we haven't got energy security. We don't make our own steel anymore. We're just a service economy. You know, we've got to make things. We've got to produce things. And farming is nearly the last thing we've got. So
it's so important. And like those things actually, when you wrap them all up, it's part of our national security.
Yeah.
When you don't have
100%.
energy security and food security, we are very exposed to all the geopolitical things
well,
that
look
happen.
at the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know,
The shelves are empty, and we forgot. We have forgot. Well, our policymakers have forgotten that.
yeah.
We've got a farm shop as well, and again, when the pandemic was there, we put all our because the cafes were shut, they all started cooking ready meals. We started selling them in the farm shop. You know, our production doubled more or less overnight, and we were lucky enough to have the staff to be able to do that.
And you've continued that.
It's gone down a little bit, but we're still on a good.
I think say if we doubled due to the pandemic in the farm shop, we've still kept probably half of that increase, which is really pleasing because
really
we
good.
didn't know how transient that would be.
And we've also just launched about 2 weeks ago meat sales online as well.
Oh, wow.
So unless you live in Jersey, we can't post to there. You know, we can post more or less all over the country.
There's other benefits of being in
What
Jersey,
about
isn't
Northern
there?
Ireland?
I don't think we can
I
do
don't
that.
think we can do that one. Really sorry.
Sorry, guys, but you can come and visit.
Yeah, and they do. We're going to get a lot from Northern Ireland.
I think that was probably one of the few positives that maybe came out of the pandemic, wasn't it? That sort of reset for people to try and slow their lives down, have a look at what they're buying from the shops, where they're buying, who they're supporting, all that type of stuff. Yeah, I get that, you know, at the end of the day, the limiting factor is cost. But when you have that time sometimes to look, that can also sway we obviously, our business is directly opposite Pioneer Food Group, opposite us, you know, and they had things on their shelves that Tesco's couldn't get on their shelves. You know, when flour was a problem, when there was a tomato shortage, things like that, because they're dealing with local producers, they're dealing with the economy around them, and they're not relying on people. And that was evident, you know, and they were just...
It was funny. It was our neighbours. I've got some yeast.
Yeah.
traded over commodity.
It was like wartime again. Wasn't it?
We were bagging flour up and reselling it, and buying big bags. And, you know.
Because, you know, the huge big retailers couldn't do that, you know, because they couldn't get that to work, obviously, in their infrastructure. So why shouldn't, you know, local businesses like that benefit?
We did a 150 days solid live broadcast through the pandemic.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of some people here today I've seen who followed us from that point. But it was nice to be able to do that because, you know.
That was the way people connected, wasn't it? Because there was, during history when conflict happened, that was like, I know it was a type of conflict. People came together like wartime.
Yeah.
But this was asking people to stay apart, which was very difficult.
Yeah.
It felt almost like a war effort at the time, didn't
Yeah.
it? It felt like people were being collegiate, that they were, you know, banging pans to appreciate people, and now all that seems to have
Gone.
drifted away, doesn't it? It seems
Yeah.
such a shame. But
Yeah, it does. So leading into the festive season, what does Christmas look like on Canon Hall Farm?
Well, it's going to be really good this year. We've invested in some tech.
Okay.
You know, we've got a Santa lift, haven't we, Rob?
Santa's Magical Elevator, it's called. I
I
don't
saw
really
that
like the
as you came
elevator
in.
bit
I have
because it sounds a bit
go
American.
on
That, but
I've never heard of Santa's
We'll let you
Magical
have a go in
Elevator.
it later.
Yeah.
perhaps.
Wow.
yeah,
That
we,
is
we
cool.
can do a video of it actually.
Yeah.
So you basically you ride in an elevator.
Okay.
You arrive in Santa's study. You walk in there, and then you go through and see the big guy in his grotto, and then you give him the key to what is going to be the toy factory where we are now.
Yep.
And then the lucky child will come and choose the toy that they wish and meet all the elves and things. It will be quite
cool, huh?
magical.
What a magical experience,
Yeah.
isn't it, for little kids?
Yeah, we're looking
Oh, for
forward
me?
to it this
For
year.
you, for me.
Yeah. Well, we are. Dare we say it, we are short of a Santa.
Oh, I've done that once.
You're going to have to start growing your beard like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly formed for Santa.
You just need to work on that accent, because I'm not sure Santa was Irish.
Does it have to be a Barnsley Santa?
Santas can be regional. Can't they? We had a really good Geordie one once. Actually. What this little kid once said to him, Santas don't sound like that.
Okay, so that's how that looks. So I guess that'll be a mega popular.
And the farm shop.
Yeah, farm shop.
Yeah.
You know, we've launched this website to try and sell, obviously, further afield, so that we're hoping that maybe the wealthier regions of the UK, we can do a bit of levelling up ourselves, and they can buy produce that might be more reasonably priced than they're able to buy in the local areas. So.
If they want a Barnsley shop in London, they know where to come.
They know where to come, and they can get it online.
Barnsley.
Are you still plucking turkeys?
No, we don't have turkeys anymore.
No.
You know when bird flu hits?
Oh, yes.
We kind of stop with the feathers.
Oh, okay.
And because it can close your business down.
But we've a good local supplier, so
But you don't.
It's only about
You don't
5
really
minutes
live
drive.
your youth anymore.
no. Some things have to give, don't they? the feathers are one of them. I could still we could dress them. You know, I turn me on. I get involved with the butchers at Christmas.
Yeah.
Because obviously the workload goes up dramatically in there.
Yeah.
And I can be multitasking. You know, I can be a farmer, I can be a butcher, I can do any of those things. So
This is a good time to hear from our sponsors.
H&H Insurance Brokers are a Cumbrian business with a national reach. We have looked after farmers across England, Scotland and Wales for almost 40 years. With offices in Cumbria, Northumberland, Scottish Borders, Yorkshire, County Durham and Wales. We can be your local agricultural insurance broker. Every day we work with farm and rural businesses just like yours, who in turn are working hard to produce the food required for our tables. We act as a trusted advisor to our clients, in the same way that you would turn to a solicitor or an accountant to give you good quality expert advice. We always take the time to get to know you and your business, allowing us to have an in-depth understanding of what you need to plan for the future and to provide the best advice possible. As an independent broker, we have access to a wide range of insurance providers, which enables us to find the right product for you at a competitive price. You can also be assured that you will receive a personal and first-class service. Insurance is about more than planning for future events. It is about having the peace of mind that your business is protected when something goes wrong, which means you can focus on the things that matter most. We're here to do just that. Contact our Agri team on 0122840 6290. The next time your insurance renewal is due, we are here for you. H&H Insurance Brokers, changing the way people think about insurance.
Finance for Farms, we're specialists within the agricultural sector.
The whole leasing of cattle's strange. A lot of people haven't heard of it before and they wonder how it works, but it's really straightforward.
Find a batch of cows I want to buy or do a deal on, I can phone them up and say, what's the chances of doing a deal on these batch of animals? And they'll say yes or no.
Anything that I've asked, or requested and spoken to Shire about has been dealt in a, quickly in a professional manner, and it's either a yes or a no.
What makes Finance for Farms different to mainstream funders and banks is speed and efficiency. A farmer can call us today, say he's looking to go to market tomorrow, and the finance will be in place for him to go the following day and purchase the animals he requires.
To learn more about the finance solutions available to support your farm's growth, call the Finance for Farms team on 01827 300 333 or head over to their website on www.financeforfarms.co.uk.
And also our Herds Media is our partner in this one and only podcast. Check out all of their services, their photography, videography. They're the Cumbria's leading guys when it comes to that. So check their website out and their Facebook and Instagram pages.
So what sort of level of interest and engagement do you get from like your regular customer or your, like standard customers that would come here? Are they interested just in the fluffy animals, or do you get customers that are, really want to understand how things are produced, or what sort of
everything?
The older generation, I would say, understand a little bit more about the realities of life. Maybe maybe the younger ones not so much, but I think that is just the way the world has changed a little bit, really. But we get a lot of people who follow us on social media and support us who remember what it was like when you necessarily couldn't take food for granted. Mm-hmm. Like my dad said, when they were little, you weren't always assured that you wouldn't be hungry at some point in the week. That was the world then. It's probably a little bit different now.
Yeah, definitely, because there's not been that hunger at all,
no,
has there, ever?
He kicked off when they still had rationing. You know, when he was a small boy, coming out of the Second World War, they were still under rationing then. You see. So,
yeah, I think people maybe don't quite appreciate the choice that they have as well, and the
100%.
availability from that point of view. Okay, so you get a mixed sort of custom from young to old.
Yeah, I think so.
Families.
We've got people who visit the farm, you know, pensioners onwards, don't we?
Yeah.
And that you don't necessarily need children to come here. You know, people with an interest in farming, with an interest in the reptile house or the small mammal house, which is below us now. You know, we've something for all ages here, and we do attract a real cross section.
And I'd say our demographics changed from, say, families of 4 to more couples during the week, and then families on a weekend. Yeah. So, and usually the couples are probably because they either follow us on social media or they've watched, you know, Winter on the Farm or Springtime.
But the farm will still go away to educate people about food production. And, you know, I still think the next generation, they care a lot about where their food comes from, but they may not fully know that whole story. But places like this go a long way to helping that connection with the farmer to the public.
Yeah. I think we've still got a lot of work to do on that side of things. Yeah. But we are, you know, again, we're going to reinvest in some tech, you know, so we can have TVs up around the farm, you know, telling a story as the customers going around. So, you know, food production is.
We're hoping
important.
to grow our schools area this year as well. That's going to be one of our targets for the year. You know, we want as many school children to visit the farm. We used to get 40,000 a year. It's dropped off a little bit from that, but maybe the cost of buses and maybe it's more difficult to take children out of school now. But we're going to have a real go at making sure we get more than our fair share of the school trips that they do make. You know, show that the field to folk, the learning outside the classroom, all those things can be buzzwords for a trip to a farm. You know, I think it is, like you said, really important that people understand more than they do now. And you guys play such an important role in that. I think we all can play an important role, but you guys do a wonderful job with that. What's your you just mentioned briefly there all the different animals you have here, but going back to the livestock, do you have a favourite breed of livestock here? Dutch spotted sheep. Yeah, 100%. Soon as we saw them, we sort of fell in love with them a bit. You know, they've got small heads, they're easy lambing, they're very thrifty when they're born. They've got a great length of carcass. They've got a great shape. You know, they're not extreme. But they're really smart, you know.
Yeah, they've got that style, haven't they?
Yeah. We really, really like them, and
they grow faster.
The beef shorthorn cattle, really like them.
Some of them, do you?
Yeah, we've a small herd, about 20 cows. That's all, and a nice bull. We bought him at Stirling last year, so we pushed the boat out a little bit with him. But
the origins of the beef shorthorn is somewhere in this area, is it? Roughly?
Is it? Oh,
well, that's the story.
They've come home then. We need to find that out.
I got to find. I was reading a book about the origins of that, and I think the beef shorthorn cow is somewhere in this area.
Right.
The origins of it.
We've got some really good Highland cattle as well. Wow. You know, we go to a lot of shows with those.
Go up to Auburn every year.
I want to go to the Auburn sale one year.
Yeah, we went this year.
Been? Yeah, we didn't get a good price, so unfortunately. the Efra took its horns were too straight.
Oh, dear.
They weren't curling at that particular time. So,
but the spring show, we won champion yearling heifer,
and that's not bad for an English.
And
farm,
that sold for 4,000. So that did well.
Yeah, and then you've got your Valley Black Nose sheep as well. You've been up at the Black Beauties up in Ordway.
Black Nose Beauties.
Yeah, so
we'd like to do a TV program on all these major sales. You know, for these for Britain's greatest breeds type thing. You know, the Highlands. I know Valley Black Nose are not traditionally British, but they've carved out their own little niche, haven't they? And I think
there's a great community involved with all these breeds that travel around the show. I think that would be a great TV program.
We're actually a Shire Horse Centre as well.
Yeah, National Shire Horse Centre.
We bred 3 filly foals last year.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Sorry. And there's only probably about 160, 180 females registered every year. So they are an extremely rare breed. So we're quite passionate about those, and they're great as well for the customers. You know, a foal being born, people love it.
I suppose they're our big four, aren't they?
Yeah.
The Shire horses, the Highland cattle. No, 5 we've got. The beef short-tone, Dutch spotted and Valley Black Nose. They're our 5 breeds that we've
Main breeds that you have
sort
on
of
the
made our own a little
Hang
bit.
on a minute. You told me your favourites were miniature donkeys.
But I don't regard them as sort of a farm animal. They're more of a pet.
It'd be good to get the Budweiser team here to buy one of these fillies.
Well, we saw them Budweisers
Did you?
at the Fort Worth
Wow.
Stock Show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we
were impressive.
saw them in action. One of them was about
They're
19
unbelievable.
hands.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a massive
Clydesdales, aren't they?
Yeah, big gelding.
Yeah.
Oh, they're Clydes. That's
Yeah,
right.
they're
Shires,
beautiful
yeah.
horses. Yeah.
How do you decide, or who maybe advises you maybe on the more exotic types of animals that you have here, and how do you because I guess some animals can't live on a farm, unfortunately.
Literally, in the building below us, there's cloud rats.
Wow.
Right, and they're as big as cats.
Oh God.
Right.
What are they?
They're a big rat. You know, they're a proper unit. It's a nocturnal house downstairs, so you go in there. It's pretty dark at first, and then you'll see these massive rats walking.
We've got armadillos beneath where we're sat now.
Sugar gliders.
So how do you understand
about
like
them.
that they'll be okay here, or how do you advise?
There's a real community of people. I suppose the zookeepers, really, and we employ probably 4 people maybe who would probably class them as zookeepers, and they look after the reptile house and the small mammal house, and they just know so much stuff, and they're so passionate about what they do and what they look after that it's their vocation in life to learn about them and care very well for these things. They do look after
there's some
them.
water voles downstairs as well. And
So
they're
do you need a zoo license then for
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, because we've got the meerkats, we've got
Saw the meerkats on my way back up.
porcupines, and some prairie marmots, haven't we? Yeah.
They're funny, yeah.
Prairie dogs. Yeah.
We thought if we're going to the trouble of getting a zoo license, we might as well make use of it and have a few super cool things as well.
And
Have you
then
got
we've
any next on the list that you think, I would quite like some of them?
Holstein cow.
A Holstein cow.
I think with miniature horses, we might get a few. of
Oh,
those.
American miniature horses. We're looking at.
We've got some Shetland ponies, but
Yeah.
the miniature horses are a little bit more refined, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're quite nice. But we'd like to get our breeding a little bit more
Just do everything we're doing
better, yeah.
to the best it can be
Yeah.
done, really. I think that's our immediate sort of plan. But we're always looking if something comes along that we think would be a nice addition.
They need a jersey, don't they?
Oh,
They need a jersey. Why haven't you got jersey cattle?
treasure jerseys here.
We have jerseys.
We don't
at
want to
home.
go up early and milk.
Oh, they're the most
bad enough
beautiful.
at lambing time.
The golden girls.
Well, they have robots now, don't
We
they?
love
You don't have to
them.
get up as early.
Yeah. It's funny because different farms are built on different things. Like I've been to
Smith Hills.
Smith Hills, yeah. And
Bolton.
they were built on dairy, obviously. So they're they've evolved from the dairy. So they've got lots of dairy cows and different breeds, and you can see. And then they have the reptiles. They have the different bits and pieces, and it's just evolved differently, hasn't it?
I went to their place when they were cleaning the python.
They had the big snake.
So I had to hold the python one.
Oh,
And you hated it. Glyn is never quiet, but see when that snake was on him, it's like he was on mute. So I guess moving on from that though, into the sort of media world that you guys have been thrust into, it's kind of grown massively, hasn't it? Once it's went onto national television. If you can tell us a wee bit about that and how that
Completely
came
by
about.
accident. Yeah. It was quite random, wasn't it?
Well, we got asked if we were interested in being a horse farm for springtime on the farm. 7 years ago, it'll be this spring. And I'd always fancied having a bit of a go at that. I'd seen Adam Ensign do it, and I thought, well, we could do that, surely,
Your brother's shaking his head here.
It completely terrified me, I'll be honest with you.
I thought we could do that. We'll have a go. And ever since then, whenever we've been asked anything, we've always thought, let's give it a go.
That's a great attitude, though.
We got asked to be auctioneers at...
Well, we're in Texas, wasn't it?
What was that market in Texas?
Not the massive big auction, the big stockyard.
It was a big enough. It was more like a mid kind of size. They moved everything on horseback. It was really impressive. You could walk above the cattle.
Yeah, you were on gantries, and they were driving the cattle into the ring using quarter horses.
Yeah,
and we got the chance to have a go at selling. So we got up on the rostrum, and I just thought, what am I doing here? And I just thought, and they do that chant, don't they?
Oh, righty, baby.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And sing it.
And I was that type of thing. And I just gave it a go, and everyone was laughing, but they were laughing. I think
they enjoyed it.
They enjoyed it.
I think they were laughing at us. But they were laughing with us as well.
Yeah.
So we got a good price, didn't we? We both had a go. We got a better than average.
Was it a pen of steers or?
Yeah, steers. Yeah.
We sold about 3 lots a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
We
do you
enjoyed
know what?
it.
I would love to have a go at that.
Yeah.
I went straight into American accent. I was going 125, 125, 130, 130, 140, 140. And then because Rob had gone first, and Rob had going, what did you do now? You made a noise, and this guy's going, do the noise, like that. So I went, 150.
It was because it's theatre, isn't it? You know that it's theatre. You've got to be good. You've got to be funny. You've got to be witty. You've got to be.
I'm 100%. If you go into the thing with enthusiasm, people love it.
Yeah. And that's where I just thought, right, this is it.
Go for it.
Put your inhibitions to one side, give it a go, and that's what we did, and it worked.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you became a host farm for Springtime on the Farm, and then you became the regular.
We had a couple of programs that spun off it. We did Rob and Dave's Big Texas Rodeo. Again, we went to the Dallas set. Where you won't remember. J.R. Ewing,
he was.
Somebody shot him, and it was the biggest program ever
on TV.
Televised.
I laid in Sue Ellen's bed.
Yeah,
there was J.R. There was
Bobby.
And they were the oil tycoons.
It was Ray Barnes.
The old Baron's Ball, wasn't it? Remember the Cattlemen's Club?
We nearly went into the Cattlemen's. We should have gone.
What was the theme tune? The Dallas theme tune was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was an awesome tune.
The best bit of all, though, we went round every room in Southfork. And it's not as big as you think. We went in Lucy's bedroom. Well, David, as a small boy, had a massive crush on Lucy, right? He really did. He had pictures of Lucy on his wall. But anyway,
she was attractive. Don't get me wrong.
He was like a boy in a candy shop. When he walked into her bedroom, he was opening all the doors.
I sat in a rocking chair.
He was picking up. He was stroking the soft toys.
He was filming it. Yeah, no, I was not. You're making me sound wrong.
So I think that would be the highlight of your life.
When we were there, the lady that was showing us round, it just so happened that Lucy was one of her best friends, and she was going,
Never, really?
"You like Lucy? Do you want to go on a date with her? Like this kind of thing." And I said, "No, happily married, thank you very much."
That's fantastic.
But we held the gun that shot JR.
Oh wow!
I put on his hat,
put
his hat on. Yeah, these are all because we watched it as a kid. Me gran and me granddad watched it. They loved the program.
It was a theme tune, that theme tune, and then there would have been like JR would have turned around, and then Bobby would have, the old, like it was all.
And we did all that.
Did you do all that?
We did all that.
The camera, I'll never forget it, the cameraman saying, "Now look at me as if you're serious." And you'd have to look like that. Now look as if you're happy, and you go, and they put them all together in a sequence, just like they used to on the start of Dallas.
But we bought the hats on the first day. So we wore the big hat, the 10-gallon hat.
We went to Leddy's boot and hat store, which is sort of, and I've noticed on a lot of people now are doing these travel documentaries.
Yeah.
And they all go to Leddy's. I think James Martin.
There's another
there,
one that...
And they have the feet measured and buy a pair of boots, and they have their head measured and buy a cowboy hat. And that's what we did when we first went there.
Yeah.
So.
John Wayne got his boots from there.
I went to John Wayne Museum.
Oh, I love that.
And we went on the Cowboy Channel while we were there.
We were beamed live across America.
Coast to coast.
On the Cowboy Channel?
Yeah.
You guys have lived.
Wow.
Yeah. Coast to coast across rural America. That was it.
From the boys from Barnsley.
Yeah.
And
they were saying...
That's awesome.
They were we had a phone in asking us questions. And he goes, "Do you boys get much trouble with coyotes in the UK?
Do you have any vermin?"
Yeah.
No, it was great.
I've got this little house mouse at the we've got shrews.
No, they were great memories, and we had a couple of good nights. Went to Billy Bob's, right, the biggest honky tonk in America.
10,000 person venue.
Yeah, it has its own bull riding ring in the bar.
They taught us to dance in hold.
Dancing.
You know, like it's
line dancing.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was
did
terrible.
A bit of that?
Oh, David were better than me.
It was Rob's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
They gave us 1 hour to learn an 18-step routine.
Oh, crikey.
Right, with a live audience, like loads of people in the bar going, "Go on, yeah, you know." They were just like cheering us on, and they introduced us.
It was so hard.
They introduced us, didn't they, to the audience?
Yeah.
We've got two of the most famous farmers from the UK.
Yeah.
And we're thinking, you know.
Sorry, what?
No, they were good. It was right in COVID as well. So COVID was rife in America, and we had to kind of not have COVID to go, which was tricky, right? And we couldn't get COVID while we were there, so it was all.
That's the whole production went down, didn't it?
Exactly, and then everything stopped.
Yeah.
So
I had to have my ears syringed while I was there because my ears blocked for whatever reason.
Okay.
Right. So I went to this. It cost about $1,000. I had to claim on insurance and have my ears syringed, and because he's not quite the NHS in America. No. And so I went down to see this nurse, and she said, "Have you had a COVID vaccine?" And I said, yeah, because you had to give your vaccine status. Yeah. And I said, here it is. She says, AstraZeneca? Are you still alive?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. One of the other ones from England, anyway, one of the nurses.
She says, are you still alive? I said, yeah, I'm all right, really.
So now it's... so obviously today the auction is being filmed for the Christmas... one of the Christmas episodes, is that right?
Winter
on
the
Farm. Winter on the Farm it's being shot for. So do they come here, they follow you regularly now, is that right?
Yeah. This year we've done springtime and winter and then a Christmas special.
Nice.
So that just seems to have dropped into a nice amount of filming.
Yeah.
It's not absolutely ruling our lives. Like during the pandemic and coming out of it, we were neglecting this place because we were
so busy.
We were nearly full time filming one thing or another, Whereas this seems to be a nice, keeping our hand in.
Nice balance.
Nice balance.
Yeah, balance is the word.
Yeah. Good.
No, but it's been great for the business as well.
Yeah.
Literally, because there's people from Northern Ireland, Scotland, Cornwall, all over the place. During the week on a Wednesday, you'll be chatting to a load of different people, and they're here because they watch the programme. Yeah. And they wouldn't have been here if we hadn't done that.
And hopefully it's keeping farming in the forefront
in the media,
of the conversation. Yeah. That's what we...
I bet Keir Starmer don't watch the programme.
No, I don't think he
No, I bet he watches
could probably
nothing
do to, though,
agricultural.
Yeah.
You do to learn.
Yeah.
But it's so sad because they're only in government 3 months, 4 months, and they had so much goodwill when they get in.
Yeah.
And I think it's all gone.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. Well, I did think at least we're going to have some competent government because I think that's
honest.
We've been a bit short of that, haven't we? That the trade deal.
That's where all that will was, the goodwill, and it's gone.
The last government, I don't think they were farmers' friends.
No.
Really. I don't.
Not.
And I thought, well, at least this one, if it's competent and
honest,
then it's going to be better. But it's not what I'd really hope for.
No. Okay, so that brings us up to the present day and ready for the auction of Canon Halls.
It's been a big build-up.
After that little display, I don't know why they've employed us to sell.
Yeah.
These guys should be
James
doing
Little who?
I mean, what are we doing here?
Well, I'd like to think that we're selling our best stock, but maybe not our very best.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice one.
No,
But you've got the best auctioneers then.
Yeah.
So you're all right.
Yeah. That's all right. Well, we chose you because of your reputation. As the premier pedigree livestock auctioneers. That would be who I would think of if asked the question.
That's really good to hear.
No.
Really good to hear.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Any predictions? What's going to be the top price today? What about, you told me you're a little bit concerned about, you have a nice spotty that's got carrying fours.
Quads.
There's two.
There's two quads.
Is anyone up for a challenge? That's the question. Does anyone want 5 for the price of 1?
Well, I think, just take the 2 off. It's going to be...
Well, if
they
don't make the price, then we'll lamb them ourselves, and we'll do a good job with them.
Yeah.
You know, we like a challenge, so we'll feed them right, get 4 lambs out of them, and people can follow it on social media.
I think the other thing that I'm hoping goes really well today, we're selling what we think is certainly one of the top 3 ram lambs that we've produced this year in the Dutch Spotted.
Yeah.
He won the Westmoreland County Show, and we're selling him with all proceeds going to Lens Light.
That's a great cause.
You know, because I heard about Len's tragic passing at the British Farming Awards, and I thought we've got to do something there. We've got to try and raise awareness, try and stop Len's mum and dad, try and make sure Len's mum and dad are the last family that have to go through such a heartbreaking experience, and try and have that conversation, try and raise awareness about mental health for young people and all people in agriculture. So we're going to try and make sure he makes a really good price. We think he's pretty. We've chosen our best lamb because it's such a worthy cause. So,
that's great. They are a really wonderful couple, and that's a great cause.
They visited us on their tractor run, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did a tractor run from John O'Groats to Land's End.
It was one of our first podcasts, and
they dropped in, and then they were going all the way to Downing Street, weren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where they were ending up.
I watched the film at the British Farming Awards, and the lights went down, it went quiet, and the whole room was hooked on listening to, particularly Len's dad was explaining what he was like as a young man, and I could just sort of feel the tears just sort of start to trickle down my cheeks.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what an awful thing to happen to anyone, and how brave these people are to try and create something positive out of the worst thing that could ever happen to you in life. So, they have my absolute admiration, and I had a chat with them afterwards. I told them what I thought of them.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that's fantastic that you guys are putting your best lamb
towards that.
No point putting a mediocre one, for that is that you've got it in with your best stuff, and that's what we're going to do.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Well done, gents. Thank you very much then for your time, gentlemen. We wish you all the luck.
Yeah,
we'll
know in a couple hours, won't we?
We will do. Time will pass, and we will know the outcome on the other side. So I wish you all the luck in the world, and thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
I've loved it.
Yeah.
Great getting to know you guys.
What a conversation.
I really, honestly, that was so fantastic. The way they're so natural, aren't they? They're so authentic.
They are I think that's the important thing, isn't it? They are very authentic about what they do. Rob said there in the conversation that they are livestock farmers at heart, and that's what they do. They are just open their farm to the public, and they really enjoy that part of it. They said that other than livestock that they farm family memories, which I thought was really, really nice.
Well, you can see that when you walk around here. There's just so many people, families, smiling, having a great time. You can feel the atmosphere as soon as you drive into Canon Hall. It's just a really happy place. The livestock all look fantastic. You can just see the auction's about to start. The sheep look really well. I hope they have a fantastic sale. It's just, and I love the story how they started this off almost as a necessity.
Mm-hmm. To make money and survive.
To make money and survive, and now it's probably Britain's leading open farm.
I would say. And, if you're watching on YouTube, you will know, you can listen as well. Glyn and I are just amateurs at this. You can see this sale will be on the winter special, Christmas special of Winter on the Farm on Channel 5. So if you want to see how the sale unfolds, other than obviously our normal channels that we unfold all our results on, you can see it on there.
And also, we did mention it during the podcast, these guys are up for a massive award, and I know there's Jeremy Clarkson and all the other guys, there's other people there, but let's vote for Canon Hall. Let's give them a big vote, and hopefully they can win that. So, yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for listening. As always, please share, pass it all over the place, and get lots of listeners on this podcast, because it really does mean the world to us and allows us to make this podcast bigger and better than it ever has been.